Hello there, Adam Franklin here for your video walkthrough of some of the 33 marketing templates from the book Web Marketing That Works. Today's video is about the LinkedIn video guide. So this is the process that I follow for recording the short videos that I post onto LinkedIn. Now, the template is available for you with no opt-in. The link is in the description above, but it's also about to be on your screen. So this is what the template looks like, and you'll see down here the link bluewiremedia.com.au/LVG for LinkedIn Video Guide. It's a free download, no opt-in required, and let's get stuck into it. If you're watching this live, just type live in the comments for me. If you're watching the replay, just type replay for me so I know who's tuning in. So write that in the comments and download the template, follow along at home, and I'm going to see if we can even put these comments onto the broadcast. Anyway, I think we got that. Hey Bo, how are you doing? So yeah, pop the comments in. I'm going to add that to the broadcast as well. Oh, there they are. There we go. Perfect. This is cool with Ecamm Live. All right, so some live comments coming through, as you can see on the screen there. All right, let's do this. Okay, and some smiley faces. Wonderful. We'll pop them on the screen as well. Awesome. This is fun. Okay, so I'll take them away. If you've got questions, let me know in the comments as well. All right, with that fun out of the way, let's get into the teaching. So this is a framework that I follow for my videos. Now let's sort of talk them through step by step. So just over here, we really, for the LinkedIn videos, what I like to do is aim for 1 to 3 minutes in length. I find it's very hard to do a video under 60 seconds because by the time you start talking and explain your points, it's very hard to be that succinct. Now, it's quite easy to waffle. So if you are new to it, then what I encourage you to do is don't waffle too long. Like, try not to do a video that's over 5 minutes. Basically, because not really that many people are going to get to the end of it and watch it. Unless, of course, it's a LinkedIn Live. So in that case, you've got the capacity to do an extended interactive type of presentation. Like, this is a Facebook Live, so this is more interactive and going to go a bit longer than 2 to 3 minutes. This is a different type of format. LinkedIn also only lets you upload a video that is 10 minutes, up to 10 minutes long. You can't go above that. So that's one reasonably helpful constraint to keep your videos short, but I would aim for 1 to 3 minutes. Okay, so if you're new to videos, I encourage you to do a few practice runs first, just so that you're comfortable and you've practiced your words, because it can be a little bit intimidating thinking that, okay, if I do this video, it's going to be up on LinkedIn, people are going to see it, so you kind of get a bit freaked out, and it's often a little bit harder to articulate your words properly. So don't be afraid of doing a few practice runs. In contrast, don't rush it or get too frustrated with yourself if you don't nail it in the first couple of goes. A lot of my early videos took dozens and dozens of goes to get right. A lot of my coaching clients say, I got it on my 26th attempt. So it's natural, it gets easier, but the practice is the key to making the videos a lot smoother. Now, in terms of the content for the video, part 3 here, try to have 1 to 2 reasonably useful insights that are interesting or useful, interesting or valuable. You don't need to do too much more. If you've got 5 things you want to cover off in a LinkedIn video, I would split that out over a series of videos. In contrast over here, try not to be too self-indulgent and talk too much about yourself if at the expense of valuable insights. So a bit of personality is good, a bit of your story potentially of why you happen to be there doing the video, what inspired it, that's all good, but get into the meat and deliver some value. Don't just purely waffle and be totally self-indulgent. So point 4 then is to be yourself. It's okay if you do a few ums and ahs and stutter your words and get stuck on a few points because you come, especially in the early days, because you come across naturally. That is the way that you're presenting it at that point in time. Yes, you'll get better, but if you look at anybody's videos who's a half decent, if you look at their early videos, they're going to be nowhere near as eloquent. So, in contrast, don't pretend to be somebody that you're not or copy somebody else. So everybody's got their own personality, their own way of speaking, their own way of delivering content. So what we don't want to do is to try and emulate somebody and take on some of their personality traits when it's not congruent with who we are. Next point is to invite people to share their thoughts in the comments. The great thing about social media, particularly LinkedIn, is that we can have a dialogue with people in comments. So don't just assume that people know that you want to leave a comment, actually ask them. That way you can continue the conversation, continue the relationships with people that you meet virtually in the comment section. So the opposite of that, the contrast of that is don't close off the conversation. I think it's a huge opportunity to be using LinkedIn as a platform, not only to share information and position yourself, but also to be having discussions, building relationships and nurturing people that are interacting with you. Next point is to, if people do leave a comment, reply to them publicly. Yes, have a conversation in direct messages for sure, that's fantastic, but make sure that you publicly thank them and acknowledge them so that people can see that you're having a conversation and so that other people can benefit from what you're discussing with them. In contrast, don't just ignore people and vanish from the comments. It is social media. You'd never just start a conversation with somebody in real life and then ignore them when they spoke back to you. So don't ignore people. And the final point in this first half is a pro tip, and what I like to do is have a companion PDF or a companion resource. Now I like to offer that as a resource if people leave a comment. So it's achieving a couple of things. One is you're adding value by providing a resource to people that want to, I guess, get their hands on something and keep something useful from that presentation. But you're also giving an excuse to people to comment. They're essentially raising their hand to say that they're interested, so they are opportunities to continue the conversation with those people. In contrast to that, I don't encourage you to participate in engagement pods. I've done other videos on this topic on LinkedIn, but an engagement pod is where you kind of collude with other people, where you all leave comments on each other's posts with the goal of manipulating the algorithm with the intent to increase reach, but what you're actually doing is eroding trust and really just being manipulative, and people are trying to see, people will see through this because you're trying to game the system. What ends up actually happening is that all you end up doing is giving clues to LinkedIn that you only want your content shown to these people. It doesn't really help the goal of being seen by more people. Yes, Bo, I can absolutely send you the guide for this. I'll send it to you via Messenger. Okay, so that's part 1. Let's now look at part 2 of the LinkedIn video guide. Okay, so continuing this idea of having a companion resource, just like this video has a companion resource which Bo has just requested. Deliver this resource that you've promised via the direct message, or if it's on Facebook, via Messenger, with no opt-in required. I like that because the friction's low, you've offered something, so you don't really want to make people jump through hoops to get it. So in contrast, what you don't do is don't send people to a landing page where they've got to opt in to receive what it is that you've promised. I find that's just a little bit off because you've actually offered it to them, just give it to them. And then maybe later, step 2 could be inviting them to register for a webinar or download more stuff. But I don't like to make people jump through hoops straight away, especially when I've offered it to them. Alright, so some pro tips. If you're outside, use a lapel mic. I use one called the Rode Smart Lav mic. It's like $80 or something. It's super, super useful. It's got one of those little pop, what's known as a pop thing on the outside. It just helps reduce any of the wind or background noise. You clip it onto your lapel and away you go. Increases the audio quality significantly. So the contrast of that, of what not to do is try not to record outside without a mic, especially if it's windy or noisy. Normally I would say done is better than perfect, but really the audio quality of a video makes such a big difference. I would prefer, if you didn't have a mic, just record it indoors. So if you're recording indoors, what are some tips here? Well, what we want to do is face natural light. So I've set up this home studio to face the window, and obviously it's not daylight all the time, so if I'm recording at night, I've got a light set up in front of me so that it lights up the front of my face so that you can see me properly. In contrast, what you don't want to do is to have too much light behind you, otherwise you look like a silhouette. It's all bright and you're just this dark sort of shadow. So try and avoid that as well. What we want to do is ideally have your eyes visible so that it's more personal for the end user. A lot of trust is conveyed through the eyes. So in contrast, what you don't want to do, which I'm guilty of, I know, is try not to wear sunglasses. Now the caveat for that is if it's so bright that you're much more comfortable, you don't have to squint. I personally occasionally do wear sunglasses, and that's the reason, only because it feels weird just to be like squinting so badly that you can't actually feel comfortable delivering the video. So I do occasionally, but ideally you would have your eyes visible so that you can have that connection. Next step, so is this making sense? Just let us know in the comments, give us a yes or a thumbs up if this is making sense so far. Same deal if you're watching the replay. Next point, ideally use a selfie stick or a tripod for stability. So folks, I use a Go Stick selfie stick. I normally just hold it in my hand and pop my phone in. This means that I can, I'll just turn off the, so what that means is that it's quite stable and I don't have to have my arm out holding it. It's okay if you do, but this is just a slightly more stable, more reliable way to do it. So that's a pro tip there. You don't, because the challenge is if it's just your arm holding it, it can be quite unstable, and then it makes it a little bit less pleasant for the person watching it. Alright, so don't be too unsteady if you are just holding your phone. Okie dokes. Okay, good, that's making sense. Thanks, Bo, appreciate that. Now, we're getting towards the end here, but the last couple of tips, try and look directly at the camera lens. So the mistake a lot of us make is that we look at ourselves on the screen as opposed to the actual lens that's taking the recording. So it's natural to try and look at yourself on the screen to see how you're coming across, but what actually happens is that your eyes, instead of like looking straight at the camera, your eyes are kind of somewhere else, and it's a little bit weird for the person watching it. Now it does happen, it's very hard not to fall into that trap. I know I do it quite a lot, but I'm trying to be conscious to look exactly at the camera, which when you're doing a selfie video on your phone is that bit on the side, not here where you'll see your face. Okay. So yeah, try not to look at yourself. Try not, I've got my colours all muddled up. Try not to look at yourself on the screen because you won't have direct eye contact with the viewer. And last tip here is a pro tip, and that is, in an ideal world, add captions to your videos. Most people watch videos with the sound off. Now the sun's come out, so my lighting has gone a little bit funny. I use Splashio to get my videos edited, my 2 to 3 minute videos edited. They put a headline at the top, they put the caption underneath, so people on LinkedIn, when they're scrolling through their phone at work or wherever, they can still watch it, still learn from it, but without the sound on. You don't have to, that's just a pro tip. So in contrast, like, don't stress out too much if you don't get around to adding captions. It's still better to get the video out and done. The captions can always come later. So that brings us to an end. There's the link to download the template, bluewiremedia.com.au/LVG. Sun's come out, so I'm going to call that a day. Thanks for your comments, and I look forward to seeing you in future videos. See you later.